You know when you have a sneeze like stuck up there, it's like sneeze blue balls? Oh. Hi, my name is Kayla Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I love a goal. I'm a naturally pretty disorganized person and I have a high degree of chaos energy in my life. So I have to enforce order on myself, or I run the risk of never accomplishing anything ever again and never finding my keys ever. To that end, I am a bullet journal bitch and I love a list. But I do think it's really, really easy to go way over the top with goals and overextend yourself on a million things that you're considering your top priority and 100 goals that are kind of impossible and way over the top. That's not to say that I don't think that you should have wild, fabulous dreams, but I think that there is a distinction between fabulous dreams and attainable goals. Like, you strive for your wild dreams, but knocking out those small attainable goals is the foundation you lay to get there. I know that if you're watching my video, you have definitely watched Alexa Dunn, but she has a good video about unattainable author goals and how they should really be dreams. It is like very traditionally published focused, which is her way, but I thought it was a good video and I will link it below if you want to look at it. In my 2021 writing goals video, I mentioned briefly that I wanted to keep my goals small and attainable. Without name checking it, I was thinking about the SMART goals system. If you're in the productivity space at all or in corporate America, you probably know what a SMART goal is, but if you want a refresher or you haven't heard about them before, SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound or timely. SMART goals are really just a way of focusing your goals and getting realistic about what you can achieve. I know this sounds like it's going to be a goal setting video and it's really not. We can do that later if you want, but today I'm only concerned with R, relevant. My dad was a techie business guy in the early 2000s. He went to a lot of those techie business guy in the early 2000s retreats. They were all for like productivity or project management or self-improvement, but with like a weird entrepreneur vibe. He mostly brought back stuff that was irrelevant to my needs, but one thing that he brought back did sort of stick with me. Whenever teenage Kayla was looking for advice about how to plan for the future, my dad would tell me to picture where I wanted to be in 5 years and then figure out the steps to get there specifically, sort of working it backwards. And that's really what relevance is all about. If you don't know where it is you want to end up, it's really hard to figure out what the steps to get there are. And with writing, I get it. There's a lot of good goals that are just sort of good ideas, regardless of what your specific plans are. Write more and improve your craft. But if you really know what success looks like for you, you can fine-tune those goals and start knocking out the other letters in that acronym. You can get really specific and measurable. So if your goal is just make money at writing, does $10 count? Does $1,000 count? Does $100,000 count? What becomes success for you, and when do you know you've attained that goal? And look, I know that in our culture we have a real drive to push for your goals with everything you have, knock them out, and then strive for more next time. But I don't want to live my life constantly striving for more. If you do, and that looks like a fulfilling future for you, always pushing and improving yourself, that's great, and it's not a knock on you. My roommate is really like that. She's always looking to improve herself and push herself a little bit farther, and I think that that's wonderful for her. But it's not for me. I want to get to a place in my life where I feel like, oh, I'm done. This is where I want to be and I'm happy here. I'm contented here. And I don't need to push the next step up the ladder. Maybe once I'm there, I'll decide that I want to push farther up the ladder and I want to strive for more. But I want to get to a place where that's a choice, not a compulsion. So for me to be able to do that, I need to be able to recognize my own success. I need to get really clear on what success looks like for me so that when I reach it, I'm not just stuck striving for more when really I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. And the problem is that success looks different for everybody, so I can't really base it off what someone else is doing. Look, I know we're not supposed to talk about money because it's like déclassé or whatever, but honestly, it's a pretty good metric because it's measurable. And frankly, under the oppressive yoke of capitalism, we all need money to survive. So perhaps it's shallow to say that my metric for success is financial, but aside from just purely financial success, because of, capitalism, it's also a pretty good marker for what your actual readership is like, how many people are bothering to pick up your books. So yeah, for me, success looks like having money, and the kind of money where I don't need to have a roommate. I have a full-time government job, but because I live in a pretty expensive city and I have a lot of student debt, I need a roommate and I don't want one anymore. It's nothing against her. She's a really lovely person. We're friends. She never makes me vacuum and she's best friends with my cat. With this one. It's really cute. But frankly, I just don't want to live with anyone anymore. I'm in my 30s and I'm ready to have my own space. I'm ready to not live with anyone I'm not fucking. I want to turn her bedroom into an office. There's already a Pinterest board for it. And I want to be able to pay someone else to come to the condo a couple of times a month and do the deep cleaning parts that I really fucking hate doing. And I want to be able to pay them the true value of their worth, which for the record is equal to how much you hate the job. The more you don't want to do the job for gross factor, the more you should pay the person who does it. Janitors should be millionaires and no one should be a billionaire. Now, I'm not saying I want to quit my day job and have that lifestyle. I'll likely never quit my day job. I love the security of it, and because my job is unionized, I have a pension, I have vacation days, I have sick pay, I have benefits with dental and massage. I'm very lucky to have the position that I'm in, and I've been broke before. I've worried about my next paycheck and how I'm gonna pay my bills, and I just like never want to do that again. So for me, having the steady security of my day job is really important. But on top of that, I want my writing money to be able to pay my rent expenses and my please God let someone else clean this mess for me expenses. I think it's also a pretty good indicator of having a steady and substantial reader base, people who will regularly pick up my books, which is something I want. I do also want fan mail, which I know is not a good goal because at the end of the day, while I can take steps to achieve it, ultimately it's in someone else's hands if they write me a fan letter or not. But this is not a goals video. This is a what success looks like to me video. And for me, a fan letter is part of success, especially if the person who wrote it's not my mom. So success for me is relatively small. I know that even on this platform, we have self-published romance authors who are pulling in high 5-figure or 6-figure years. And I'm getting rowdy like, ooh, I want $30,000 Canadian. And that is Canadian, which is about like, what, $510 American? But that's what success looks like for me. So what does success look like for you? Like me, are you looking for add-on money? Is this just a hobby and you don't care about making money as long as someone draws some fan art for you? Do you want this to be your full-time hustle with like a beach house and a Tesla? Let me know down below. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Of course, you can leave them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, do that good engagement shit. If you are looking for me anywhere else, I am Kayla Amanda pretty much everywhere. That is Kaylughmanda. And I will see you next time.